US. We're speculating as to how the Android is going to be affected by that purchase. But it does have both. And I can't remember the name of the company for the life of me, but it was just announced a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, and the other thing, too, on that is, and it is, you brought up a good point, is why has this not been adopted? And it's one of the things we're looking at right now in adoption of technology. And there are windows of, we talk about them as windows of opportunity, right, that are open to companies where a individual or a group of individuals, target market, will accept a product. If you hit too early, they go, no, I'm afraid of that, right? It's just I can't get my hands around it. If you come too late, they go, well, it's already been done. I mean, why would I want that? I'm not going to pay for that. It's got to be free at that point. So hitting that window of opportunity and things like voice activation in automobiles, voice activation in computer, those been around for 10 years, 10, 15 years. I mean, that's not new technology, but very few of us use them. And part of it is because it's bulky and it doesn't quite work the way we wanted. And if you're like me, I'm Cajun. I'm from South Louisiana. So the tireder I get, the more I sound like I'm from Scotland. Okay, so my computer, which works really well when I'm awake and I've had my coffee in the morning and I'm talking to my computer and it's happy, in the evening doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And that drives me absolutely crazy. So those kind of things are out there. Windows 8 is coming out. Windows 8 has facial recognition software built in. And now we're seeing more and more, pretty much any notebook computer you're going to buy now is going to have a built-in camera. So the hardware now matches the software, and now we're at a point where is the user willing to use it? Well, I can tell you one of the very first reports I got after Windows 8 said, yes, we're going to have facial recognition, was a report that said, oh, Windows 8 has the ability to turn your camera on without you knowing about it and spying on you while you're in the shower. And I thought, well, why would anybody have a computer with them in the shower? Right? That was the first thing I thought. And I said, okay, well, but that's the point. And so it gets back to the privacy versus security issues and what people are willing to trade. So we had a question.
Just to comment on that, from the government's perspective, the reason that we're not doing biometrics is because you can't resend the credential. Mm-hmm. So if I can't take your finger away and someone steals that data, they are you. So if they can bypass the authentication mechanism and just use the data, then it's non-trivial to change that.
Yeah, it would have to be a biometrics in and of themselves cannot be used as a secure facility. It's got to be a multi-level. Who else? Is somebody else? In the back here. And that'll be probably our last one for right now, and then we'll break and y'all can come up and visit with Brian for a little bit individually if you'd like to.
Brian, I'm with SOS Security, and all the issues that were named today, I could probably name 70 solutions to accommodate or fix the problem. The problem I see is that companies don't really have the budget for the solutions, or they're not willing to put the budget forth for the solutions. Do you see all the coverage kind of opening up the purse strings?
So I think, speaking from my own personal experiences, I have to justify my project just like the new designer has to justify his new project investment and upgrading the database or buying the next version of the Dell Blade. And so you kind of have to make those trade-off decisions. So I've not had trouble getting budget when I can make a very sound business case for why we need to invest here. Where I run into trouble is we're an environment that has Windows and Unix and Linux. And again, we're an environment that has Windows NT all the way up to, well, now 8.
Right.
I don't know how many different versions of Linux we have. And so, a lot of times these solutions will work only on this version of Windows, or no, I only work on Ubuntu, I don't work on Red Hat. And so it's hard to make a big investment on something if it's only going to cover a third of my environment, which, again, that's a hard thing to go and justify. And then again, I think the other thing you look at too is, one of the things I've had to get comfortable with is having viruses in my environment. So you would think, oh man, you want any virus infection you have, you want to stamp that thing out and get rid of it. Really? is that really the most cost-effective thing to do? Or is it okay to say, you know what, that computer has a virus on it? You know, what's it doing? Well, it's kind of a nuisance. Okay, well, we'll fix it tomorrow. I mean, there's no you know, there's just some things that happen that, you know, it's cheaper to use your reaction process and clean it up than it is to try to go put a ton of technology in place that is probably buggy or may not work exactly the way you want it. You got to go make those decisions. So that's what I see, at least in our environment.
Any last jewel of wisdom you want to throw out at them?
So again, I think, you know, all of you, you know, you make decisions, right? Are you telling Apple and Google